Welcome to Touch Develop's informational video, User Input. To begin our program, we will start in the main method by clicking on Main. Inside the main method, we will use User Input to drive our program. To do this, we will click on New Line, Variable. To add user input to our variable's contents, we simply click Wall, Ask Boolean. For the parameters of the Ask Boolean component, there are two strings. The first asks the user a title question, and the second adds any necessary details. We will be using only the first option, with the question, would you like to record your input? This text will be provided on the wall with both a yes and no option. If the user chooses yes, the variable will return true, and if no is chosen, false will be returned. Since it is relevant to recording via microphone, we will rename the variable record. Following the renaming of our variable, we have completed initializing. Now we can move on to the next line. The line directly beneath record will also be a variable defined through the user. Once more, we will take advantage of the wall option, this time using the subscript askString. Since askString takes only one parameter, we only need to ask our question, in this case being, what would you like to say? The user will then be able to use the full keyboard and enter their input. The input can then be accessed through our variable, which we will name input. After our first two lines, our script will take a break from user-specified variables. An if statement will be added to the line below. The initial condition we will add will run the statement if the user chose in favor of recording their input. To do this, we simply call upon record and verify its value. Since record is a Boolean, it is possible to put solely record and have the contents run as long as it is valued as true. To familiarize yourself with the API, however, we will detail our code with the interpretive option equals, using true as a parameter. True can be found on the third keypad's second line. The body of our if statement will record the input the user designated by first displaying the necessary verbal cues. Within two parentheses, found on the operator keypad, we will compose a string. This string will begin with our added phrase, say, and then be concatenated with the variable, input. Take note, during this combination, it is important that we type a space following say so that the two substrings are not presented as conjoined. To ensure that our statement is visible on the wall, we simply put post to wall. Our next line, a variable, will also be within the body of the if statement. To record the user reading their input aloud, we will employ the use of our microphone via the library senses. Following entry into senses, record microphone is one of the first options. As the variable substance is subject to the sounds of the user, we will declare it sound. Knowing in advance that we will call upon sound in separate methods, we will make our new variable a global by clicking the title and then promote to data. Our next line will take place outside the if, so we must select the entire if to create an appropriately positioned variable, which will again be informed during activation of the app. Following the same steps as before, we utilize wall, this time prompting the user for a number via the button Ask Number. Our parameter for this line is how many times would you like to say quotation, concatenated with the input and then the ending quotation. We say this as the desired effect of calling this number in the future establishes the iterative count of a for loop, which will output the user's string a respective amount of times. Because of our specific intent, we will name our numerical variable loop. The line to follow loop is the previously mentioned for loop, and now the condition can be met directly with the addition of the newly input number. Within the for will be a single command. By choosing our recorded input and posting it to the wall the amount of time specified, we directly meet the requests of the user. To address the auditory output, we repeat our original if statement including the record equals true condition. In the body, however, we instead issue a new command. Employing the sound and instructing it to play will project the recording made prior, but only in the instances in which the user requested it through our Boolean. To add an aesthetic appeal to our application, we must script within an event. In this case, the added event will be shake. Once inside the shake method, we will begin with a command. Calling upon wall and opting for the Set Background button will automatically change the backdrop of the wall to a random color each time the event is activated. We will repeat this process below with wall Set Foreground, which simultaneously will set the color of the covering text. The final step is to return to the main method and press Play, starting our application. Hello world. Hello world. Congratulations, you have now completed TouchDevelop's informational video, User Input.